All right. I am live. And hey, thanks for waiting. Just trying to get all my little sound and everything perfect. But I just wanted to kind of come on and talk to you guys. I've been kind of incognito for the last week, trying to finish up the script for the preview. And just wanted to let you guys know what all is going on with that. So um, it's pretty much done. The script is pretty much done. Aaron Alfeche, how are you? And it's like, I love your art, by the way. Big fan. And but yeah, the script is done. There was a couple of little places that I wasn't quite happy with the dialogue, so I've gone back in and I've been kind of working on that. But probably within the next few hours after I end this stream, I will send that off to the dear Amanda Lamella and let her get to work on her editing thing. Let her take a look at it. But other than that, I see Akuma. Hail, Antonio. Good morning. Good morning, you Jazz. I see you out there. But it's, whew, first of all, the elephant in the room. Yesterday afternoon, brand crossed over $69,000 in sales, and that was amazing to me because if you've been following me for a while and you know my story, you know that we've kind of struggled to raise funds, and then things happened and we got the eyes of Ethan Van Sciver and people like John Malin, Mike S. Miller and stuff helped us really promote this book, and it just kind of took on a life of its own. And it's very humbling to see the book be able to reach these bounds. But I'm really excited for you guys to see the preview. Those of you, I've gotten a couple messages like, I'm not reading it. If you're not, the preview is for a couple of purposes. Number one, a lot of people are like, Antonio, it's been a while. Why isn't the book out? The book has been getting worked on. We work on the book all the time. So you're definitely going to see that if you check the preview out. But also, for those people who have maybe been on the fence, that maybe they weren't sure if they want to actually back brand, and then they read the book, and if they can check the preview out, they can see the colors, see the beautiful lines by Mr. Kanan White, and that will let them know one way or the other if they want to back us. It's for those people. Some people, this is the only way to reach them. So I'm really excited, but we're in the last, I'd say we got 10 and a half pages left. And it is, we got like 10 and a half pages left because Kanan was doing page 38 last night. He may be done with it because he was showing it to me right before he went on Mike's auction last night. And I know he was half done with the page. But it's very complicated when you do art the way Kanan does it. And so, it just kind of, oh no, don't tell me I got a porn guy on it. Oh, there he is. What's up, Doug? How you doing? Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Morning, sir. I saw the link and I'm coming in to get some work
done. Well, I was like, oh man, I guess I really my little 69,000 is nothing compared to the 400
and 16,000.
Oh my God! Proud backer of Earthworm Jim and Bigfoot Bill, and looking forward to Bigfoot Bill 2 as well. I feel like I'm stealing money when I back your books.
That's what I want. I want you to steal my money.
Yeah, well, that's it. Got a super chat from Michael Roth. Congratulations on 69K, Antonio. I would rather wait for quality than get garbage quickly.
That's right. That's right.
I agree with that, but
long game. That's long game thinking. That's good.
I just want you guys to read it. I just want the book to be. My God! I'm looking at all these beautiful pages that Kanan is turning in, and maybe I am a shit writer. I don't know, but I like to think
it just doesn't take long to write. It's not that it doesn't just flat out doesn't take as long to write as it does to draw. Drawing is watching paint dry, and writing, you can. There's nothing about a great story that has to take a year. I mean, it can take a year, but it doesn't have to. So you really could pound out the world's greatest story in a week. You cannot draw the world's greatest story in a week, period. Ain't gonna happen.
Well, yeah, I definitely agree with that. And first of all, Doug, I love you. You know I love you.
Oh yeah, love you too, brother.
Yeah, and first of all, and thank you for coming. I invited several people.
Bring on the people.
Yeah, just wanted to. It's been nearly a year since next month will be a year that you and I first made each other's acquaintances on Ethan Van Sciver's channel.
That's right.
I
don't.
When
you were $3,000 in on this nearly. We got to get you on 7. What's it take to get you to 70K? I hate the odd numbers. I like the round numbers.
Well, yeah, as do I, my friend. But
70K, 80K, 90K. We like the 10s.
Well, it's so straight because everybody's like, dude, this book should be over $100,000. And I'm like, It's the price point. The price point is what stops it from, because if you look at my backers, you look at some of the campaigns that have done like 75, 80,000, 90,000, and they have less backers than I do. But,
oh yeah. No, you've got a ton of backers.
Yeah. I've got over 21, almost 2,200 backers now. So yeah, it's the backers. Yeah, the backers that I have, we would be well over.
Oh yeah.
Over $100,000. That's why I know when we. That's one of the things I actually wanted to talk about this morning, because I'm finishing up the script, and I'm going to do a big backer update. I'm going to show some of the pencil pages that Kanan's been doing. As I mentioned a few moments ago, we've got 10 pages to go, and then they still have to all be colored and all that kind of stuff, and have the font put on them. But Kanan's part will be completed, and I'll stop yelling at him and saying awful things to him.
Abusing him.
I love Kanan. Kanan knows I love him.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could work with another artist. And I'm thinking about that, because I don't know if I could work with another artist, because Kanan just gets me. Yeah. And I've told him, like, I called him like 3 times last week, and he's like, is this going to be a long conversation? So I just I know I get on his nerves and stuff. And I'm like,
you got to get that work faster. Why don't you write another book, so you have one book brand that is Kanan White's? You know what I mean? And that can go as slow as he needs. And then do another book that satisfies your hauling ass needs. So go get a fast artist who doesn't do what Kanan White does, but this is about pounding out stories. And then you run 2 books.
No, there is another story. I want to tell you about it, maybe off the air. It would have to do with, when I the first time you had me on, I was talking about when I worked, at fast food, when I worked at Hardee's and stuff.
Yeah.
I actually want to do a comic book that is set in a fast food setting, little adult humor and stuff.
Write what you know.
And I know the artist that I would love to. There's the guy Inkworks. I know a lot of people have followed. I would love to have him be the artist on that book. If I launch it, I would like Inkworks to be my artist on that book. I think he would be the perfect fit for it. and because I want that nice cartoony animation type style. He showed some interiors that were kind of in that vein, and I thought they were. I was like, man, I could really, have some fun with that. And, I can just see
What's
the
the book that he
milkshake.
does? Is it the?
I think he does most of the stuff that he's posted. I think it's been like on Webtoons or something like that. But and he colors a lot of stuff. Like he's done like Cyberfrog for Ethan and stuff like that. And tagged him in it. Brilliant artist, but he would be the one if I did this book about fast food, about the fast food industry and stuff. That would be the person that I want to do. But I am working on the plotting for Way of the Gun because. I really want to get, I was telling Kanan about that, but Kanan was like, oh my God, I can tell you're already in Way of the Gun. I was like, yeah, because that's all I've been thinking about. Way of the Gun is the way I want to go.
And that's a great title, Way of the Gun. Ooh.
Yeah, but and it's just, I love the whole next step of this situation. I need to get David and Dawn. I need to add a few years to Dawn's age because she's still a kid in this book. She's 15, and so I need to make her an adult and have her and David actually meet so they can fall in love and get married and all that kind of stuff. So
is that Way of the Gun, or is that the next book, next brand book?
Yeah, it's
brand Way of the Gun.
Yeah, it's brand Way of the Gun. That is the next. Yeah, that's the next book. So, and here's a big thing. It's going to have 6 covers. There's going to be 6 covers.
What?
Kanan's going to have an A and B cover, and they'll come together and form one big mega cover.
I like that.
Cover from Elliot Fernandez.
It's a cover spread.
Yeah. Cover from Elliot Fernandez.
Elliot is the good.
And then cover from Matthew Weldon, which is Hanging in My Home. And then 2 more covers from mystery artists that I have not ready to reveal yet.
Oh, yeah.
But Way of the Gun is going to be, I'm going to keep it at the same size. We're going to do some things differently. I definitely don't want to, have Kanan. It's driving Kanan crazy drawing these traditional pages. It's like the Cintiq and the iPad Pro are like heroin to him.
Yeah.
But at the same point in time, he's like, you know what? I hate drawing these pages traditionally, but I'm actually getting better at it as I go along.
Oh, he's really good.
Yeah. Because
I was also surprised at how much detail he puts in his own pencils, because usually if you're inking your own work, you don't have to do all your core shadows and every little, piece on there, because it's in his head. He sees it. But so when you put down a pencil that tight, usually it's for a different inker. Like you have to put every little pencil down if it's for another inker and you want it to look exactly like that. When you're inking your own work, you don't have to put all those pencils in there. He doesn't have to go that tight. So it's weird to me that he went that tight and he's inking his own work.
I think that because he's inking it digitally, he wanted to make sure that the backers paid $500 for these pages.
Oh yeah.
And so he was like,
they're worth it. They're good looking. Those are good looking pages.
Yeah. Every page I know, there'll be, that's why I make sure tracking number, the whole deal. When we lose that page, it's a one of a kind page.
You do scan them before, photocopy them before you send them out, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And it's just, man, it's just, I'm really proud of Kanan. I think he would say that this has been a journey for him. I think he has, because our relationship, I can't wait to do the director's commentary because I want to be completely, and people know, because I've talked about it. It's like I end up getting mad at Kanan, and Kanan has gotten mad at me, and but we love each other. It's like, that's my brother right there. I love Kanan. That's my guy. But he, like, when he put the tattoo on Dawn's stomach, I was like, the hell did this tattoo come from? He just added it. He was just like, well, I thought it'd be a nice touch, and I was just like,
How can you get mad at a guy who's just trying hard to do some entertainment for you? They can be wrong, way wrong. He can be way wrong.
Oh, I
The
always
intent.
feel so bad.
I know you had a heart attack, man. You saw that tattoo. You're like, she's a kid. Ain't no one have no tattoo when they're that young. He's all, well, in my neighborhood.
Oh man, it was crazy. I got the super chat for £5 from Stephen 4X. Knowing his blood, sweat, and tears are going into my original page only makes it more valuable to me. There's only going to be, let's see, we sold, what was it, 13 pages to backers.
Yeah.
And there is another page that Kanan laid out that is a double page spread that he is going to do traditionally so that we can sell it. Because it's going to be badass and it's going to have a very important character on that page. And so he laid it out to me and I was like, oh my God, you've got to do that one traditionally so we can sell it. Matter of fact, Doug, I know I text you.
Yeah.
There is a cover probably within the next few days. I'm waiting on the colors to come back. It was for those of you that don't know, Kanan asked me to become his art rep. So if you want commissions from Kanan, if you want him to do character designs for you and stuff, please email me at info@Ikari Press and we will get you set up. But had a client ask Kanan to do a cover, and he was very pleased with the final results. We just got to get him the colors that he paid my colorist Icarus, who is coloring brand. He paid him to color the cover for him. So I should have that probably tonight or early tomorrow. And I will shoot that all because he's all paid up and we're good.
Yeah.
But the art, the original cover, which is amazing, is going probably on eBay in the next few days.
Okay.
To see, can't we find it a good home? Kanan did like ink wash on it and stuff. He did traditional inks on the cover, and I was like, I think we're gonna see a lot of interest on it. It's a beautiful page.
Yeah.
And
one thing I did, I talked to a guy because these guys, they're digital only. They're like, they're all about the digital, and they haven't done traditional for a while. And there was one guy who gave me a quote on his pencils, and I said, look, I'll give you 20% more if you'll do it analog instead of digital. So maybe if you paid him more for the pages that you're selling, doesn't he respond to money? I assume he responds to money. Like he might hate doing pencils, but you go, what if I give you 20% more for all of your pencils versus digital? I don't want to talk business online or in public or anything, but I'm just saying there's got to be a way around that to make him love doing those pencils more if he got paid more for them.
Oh, absolutely. I don't disagree with you. That's how I was able to coax him. Because we sold, each of those traditional pages sold for $500. And most of that money went to Kanan.
Yeah. Well, that'll help. That'll help get him.
So he was very happy. He was.
If he's going to draw the same page. I'd rather get a lot of money for it than a little.
Yeah, he was. His page rate bumped up considerably.
Oh, good.
When he saw, he was like, but he's like, I don't want to do the whole book. But this is what we agreed. He said, okay, I'll offer 20 original pencils for sale, at $500 a piece.
Yeah.
And he said the other 28 pages will be done, it will be done digitally.
Yeah. So he can haul.
And then, so he said also the pages out of the 20 that don't sell when you shut it down will be done digitally as well.
Yeah.
So that's the deal. Now, as of right now, I've got 8 traditional pages, but obviously they have all been purchased by backers.
Yeah.
And page 9 is coming because he showed me about half done. I see Nasser Rabani. Hey, Nasser, how are you? Good morning, sir. Congrats. I mean, that was the thing. But I think what he wants to do, because we were talking about, the launch for Way of the Gun.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that he would probably like to offer maybe small commissions, as a backer, like maybe an 8 by whatever, something like that, as opposed to do it. Because he was just like, he's like, man, when he gets that Cintiq, and he gets the drawing on the little Wacom or whatever,
Yeah.
he feels so much more comfortable.
Well, and I've seen him on Drawn and Quartered. I'm going,
Mm.
no one would call him a slow artist on that. So maybe, I don't know what he's doing on your book that's slowing him down, but when I see him on Drawn and Quartered, these guys are hauling.
It's all the but it's all the little details and the cross and all that, and it's just the insane amount of detail that he puts.
Yeah.
I was just, and then and that presents other problems for the colorist.
That's
because
right.
the colorist gets to pay. He said, I'm sorry this is taking so long. He's like, Kana put so much detail in here, it takes longer to. And I had to pay the colorist more money. And it's just, but something Kanan also told me, he said, there's a big difference between doing like a little pinup piece than actually laying out a page and drawing the panels on it, especially.
all the planning. Yeah, I know. I did. I did a relatively simple page yesterday. I thought, I'll just knock this thing out, and it ended up taking 8 hours.
Dude, I love watching you draw those Earthworm. I loved watching you draw the Bigfoot Bill pages, but the Earthworm. But obviously, I think because I've had a love of Earthworm Jim for a quarter century.
Oh yeah.
I think I didn't know who Bigfoot Bill was. Like, you made me a fan of Bigfoot Bill.
Yeah.
But I've been a fan of Earthworm Jim. I had the video games and all that stuff.
Yeah. Bigfoot Bill had a real uphill climb in front of him. Because he was a new character. Earthworm Jim does not have that uphill climb. That's why I decided to do the ink wash pages. As I said, there's so much more history and fandom involved with this thing. I got to bump this art up somehow. So I just said, I'm going to do that. That's why I decided to do the ink washes, is I knew if I'm getting paid, because to me, the campaign, it's double what Bigfoot Bill is. I feel like I need to put like almost double the amount of time in every page just to be making what I'm getting,
Yeah. Oh, like, but dude, that ink wash. So it was a page with like Princess, what's her name? There was a ship. I think it was page like 26 or 27 or something. And
dude, look at this SOB right here. This is Earthworm Jim going down into his own suit. Look at, so there's the neck hole up there with all the machinery around him. This is a full pager. He's down in there. Look at all this ink rendering of him down in the workings of the suit. I mean, that page is insane. Right there. Look at that ink washing, man, right there. I'm doing, and that's a blast. But it took me a long time, but it's fun. Dude, it's going to be, I'm telling you, some guys buying pages. I've sold 20 original page of the big pages and 5 of the non-Earthworm Jim originals. So I'm doing 500 for pages that don't have Earthworm Jim on it and 950 for ones that do.
Oh man, but that page looks brilliant. I mean, it's a big like splash page.
That is going to go. That's going to go to one of the top. One of the first guys in gets that one.
Oh my God! I mean, it's beautiful though. But I mean, how many? I mean, wasn't in the book like 160 pages or something?
Yeah, 160 pages. Yeah.
Oh wow.
and my thing is, I don't want pages sitting around my house. I've got over 2,000 original pages sitting in my house. It's like, I don't need more of this. I want to, if I can pump them into the books, if I can pump them into the campaign, I'd rather dump them at a cheaper price, which to me, these are pretty cheap for how much work they are. I'd rather move them and get them out to my fans. I want to place everyone, and that includes giving them away to my top 10 referrals. And if I have enough extra pages left over, I'll give them away to the top 12 referrals, and then I'll go up to the top 15 referrals. If people are bringing in, and you're one of the guys that are bringing in big names, that Lightning fan gal is one of my top referrals.
Amanda, she's the editor on Brand.
She's amazing. And I'm just saying that just shows, a few little tweets, and she's getting a $950 page. She's brought in over $3,000 to the campaign.
Oh, wow.
And she's got like, she passed Ethan on what Ethan brought into the campaign, and she's got just a few hundred followers
Yeah,
on Twitter.
which I'm one of them.
Of course, me too. Yeah, she's
yeah,
big.
yeah. No, Amanda's a nut. She came on my channel last year when I did the fantasy I played fantasy football with her and her husband.
Oh, there you go.
And in which she asked me if I'm going to do it again. The audience didn't seem to respond to the fantasy football. I love fantasy football. I love football.
I know you were into that, man. You were.
Yeah, but nobody cared.
None
So
of the comic book geeks are not big on fantasy football.
Yeah, and it was just like, but I was like, hey, if you win, I'll send you this or whatever. And I was just trying to generate some interest. However, I thought maybe about doing a separate YouTube channel where I do sports type stuff and building an audience on that. And I can still kind of cross promote comics as well as I build an audience.
Yeah.
But because I want to do wrestling. I want to do, I want to talk about professional wrestling. I want to talk about like basketball and, football and stuff like that. So I thought, maybe some boxing, a little Major League Baseball.
No, that's the problem is the overlap, because I'm in overlappy audiences, right? TV animation, video games, comics. And I was always amazed at how the people who are big fans of my video games had no idea I'd been doing comics for 20 years. Like they're going, wow, you do comics. I'm going, that's what I've been doing. And then my comic fans, they're very much more bookish and not necessarily video game fans. So it's really a divided market according to what people are obsessed about. And that's why the fantasy football, I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I was like, man, because I'm on like FanDuel and DraftKings. I'm doing the fantasy sports betting and stuff. Yeah. Sometimes I win, sometimes I don't. Let me see. Ted Segaro, Antonio, you see AEW? Yes, I've been following AEW since they announced. I'm actually looking forward to them hopefully being a small thorn in the side of the WWE, not because I want WWE to fail.
Yeah.
But they don't have any competition, so they've kind of started phoning it in.
Yeah.
And the product to me was better when they had to compete against WCW back in the day during the Monday Night Wars.
I agree. Keep them all honest.
Yeah. So AEW, was it Samir Khan, the guy that owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, and his son Tony? They are the primary owners, and they brought Cody Rhodes in as the third owner. And and then they've got I can't remember the guy. They brought him in he was in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Ken something, I can't remember, but he's a big Kenny Omega. That's him. And Kenny Omega was like dominant. Vince had been trying to sign him to WWE for so long. And he was friends with Cody, and Cody's like, dude, come over here, we'll make you like vice president.
Yeah. We'll own the pie instead of help build his pie.
Yeah, and
own the pie.
They got a big television contract with TNT, which is so that's major. The fact that TNT is going to be broadcasting their programming every week.
Yeah, instead of pay-per-view, because isn't the other one all pay-per-view?
Well, you still do the pay-per-views. You only do the pay-per-views. You don't just stop doing them, but you use the show to market the pay-per-view.
Sure.
So yeah, it's a big, but I see some of them trying to do that Fight Network where they're like streaming on YouTube and stuff, and that kind of thing. But I really, really want to see what's about to happen, because I think in October of this year, WWE's Fox deal kicks in, and they'll start streaming on Fox on, I think, Friday nights for SmackDown and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're going to be on network television for the first time in forever. And
then they really will be just the McDonald's of wrestling when that happens.
Yeah, but I mean, I've tried the WWE Network. They had like cartoons and reality shows on there, and they bought out a bunch of like old catalog, like Smoky Mountain Wrestling, Mid-South Wrestling, was it World Class Championship Wrestling, the USWA with the Von Erichs and all that kind of stuff. Man, they were buying. They have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours.
Old Andre footage.
Yeah. All that old AWA stuff. Yeah, Hulk Hogan in AWA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, man, they've probably got a backlog of wrestling video that is probably worth in excess of $300 or $400 million.
Yeah.
It's just
probably more than that, even if you think about what what those shows can generate.
Yeah, man. And they let you watch, like, if you subscribe to WWE Network, it's like $12.99, $13.99 a month.
Yeah.
You get all the pay-per-views for free.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. It really I just was surprised by it. But like I said, I think they've kind of gotten stale because Vince is like, yeah, these guys keep trying to compete with me and it's boring and nothing happens. And
yeah.
So, I need AEW to actually be good and compete with them. And then it will trickle over to WWE, I think. So,
yeah. And that you're talking about that Japanese fighting network. I've seen some of that. Yeah.
Yeah, they make they do. They get tons of views on YouTube.
that was good, man. That was good. Giving him a run of his money.
So that's what I'm saying. He's like, I don't want WWE to be out of business, but they need competition if it's going to be good. So I just, that's the thing. But that's what I'm into. I'm into like comics and video games and stuff like that. So Booker T in the chat says, I didn't know Doug was such a big wrestling fan. I know a few wrestlers, but
I'm not a big fan. I've so many of my friends were into it. They would all talk about what moves, and who's diving off the second story, and I've seen all the documentaries.
Oh, now hold up, let me see. Because let me tell you what I love as far as wrestling documentaries.
Yeah.
Bret Hart, Wrestling with Shadows.
Yeah.
So that one, I think that's one of my personal favorites. It documents his last like year and a half in the WWF at that time.
Yeah.
Before he went to WCW and Goldberg wrecked his back.
Yeah. That's what most of the documentary is about how they wreck their backs. Pretty much every documentary.
Yeah.
The one that the wrestler was based on was really good.
Ooh,
the one that talked about the drug addiction one.
Oh, because I was like, man, because I saw, because there was a ESPN E60 one that someone has clipped and put up on YouTube, and I watched a couple weeks ago. I remember seeing that thing like 10 years ago when it was talking about like flying Brian Pillman, like dying, Eddie Guerrero dying. He was only like 36. Oh my God! And someone clipped. It's up on. It's like I said, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's a great thing that they did. They also did. There was another thing that CNN kind of delved into. Are the concussion syndrome affecting a lot of these wrestlers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it was kind of talking about Chris Benoit, where he unfortunately took out his wife and son.
Yeah.
And that was
another good one. Yep.
Oh my God!
Weirdos, man.
Yeah, but I mean, you hear about the concussions and the steroid use, and
the steroid use just melts them, makes them susceptible to all those heart attacks they keep having. Then they'll just blow up. I'm amazed Hulk Hogan survived all that.
Yeah, him, Ric Flair. Ric Flair, Ric Flair just got out of the hospital like a month ago.
Yeah.
And
again. Yeah.
Yeah. Again. Yeah. He got out of, he's got a YouTube channel now where someone was filming. He only did a couple of pieces. I subscribed to his YouTube channel. He was loading up apparently someone who had been working with him for like 20 years was like embezzling money from him.
Oh no.
So yeah, they were stealing money from him, and he thought he could trust. It was some woman that had been a business agent of his or something. It's been stealing money. Let me see here. Okay, so Cashbox A5. Hey Doug, so how many pages are you planning to release for Bigfoot Build 2? I just seen the update for the 24-page preview. Antonio, how many pages left for Kanan to finish? I tuned in a little late.
10 pages.
Yeah, we got 10 pages left. Probably 9.5 now, because he sent me the half page that he had been working on before he hopped on Mike Miller's stream last night to do the auction.
That is the home stretch, man.
So yeah, we're on the last 10 pages, and very excited about that.
You're gonna hit the printer running. You're gonna be like,
I'm really, everybody was like Print Ninja and stuff, but I'm really starting to look at some American printers.
Look at my Jostens boys up there, API Jostens up here in Tennessee, dude. You can drive up to Clarksville and look at it. I mean, it's a big.
Did they do comics? I know they do. They obviously can do.
They do all of Kevin Eastman's comics.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Dude, and they've done Marvel books. When I called and did my research on these guys, now they are primarily a yearbook company. So that's the main thing they do. But I've seen them do floppies. I've seen them do children's books. I've seen them do, all that stuff. And all I did was I sent them my quote from China because I was using Regents on my sketchbooks to get the leather covers cheap. I sent them that Regents quote and they beat it. This is back when Bigfoot Bill was a 48-page floppy. So
I never knew that was in the. I never knew you had planned on doing a floppy with. I know you kept doing.
The campaign started. The campaign started with 48 pages, and but I didn't know how high it would get. I thought it was going to level out at about 85K because I was having to build a whole new audience on Indiegogo versus my Kickstarter, where I raised 105,000 on my first Kickstarter. This is why all this Doug needs Comicsgate for money is bullshit. It's like I didn't need the money. I wanted to fight people to fight with me. I got money. It's like
trust me, yeah, I know you have money.
I got money.
But you got a lot of support from Comicsgate, obviously.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, not 100%, but I mean, I got a ton of Comicsgate support. I mean, you can see it. I go on a show, on Ethan's show. $40,000 in one night. So but I'm only saying I got the money. It's not the money that was the key difference to me. That was going to kill my career wasn't the money. It was the stuff that's shutting Steven Crowder down is what's going to shut us all down. If you know what I mean.
I definitely agree with that.
keep your eye on the prize, people. If you like your money, you better believe the right thing about certain things. It was, so I thought I would end up doing a floppy, maybe a 60-page, maybe an 80-page graphic novel. And then I started seeing the numbers go above 85,000. And then I knew that hardbound was in the running. So I went back to Jostens, API /API. API is their smaller indie publishing wing that actually is a shingle operating under Jostens. So they use all of Jostens equipment, but they're a separate business. And my guy is Robert Smith, who I can introduce you to. And by the way, some of my guys have done bids with him and they said, no, he didn't come close. So I can put you in contact with him. Just have him bid on your project. Tell him you're a Tennessee guy and tell him you're one of my buddies and see if he'll throw you a deal. And then he ran the hardbound, and because Jostens really is made for hardbound because they do all those yearbooks, their hardbound prices were really good. So I went with them, but what was neat was I was able to, if there's trouble and you need to beat someone's head in, they're in town. So it's not like doing it in some other state where you'll never meet that printer. They're in town. So I can call them all the time. I visited them while Bigfoot Bill was being pressed. I got to look at the color and make sure the saturation was right. And when you're doing a book where you're putting this much time into those pages coming in, you've been waiting on these things forever. You don't want to do Print Ninja. Although Print Ninja has great quality. I've got a ton of books back there by Print Ninja. So
and I got Graveyard Shift was beautifully done by Print Ninja.
Exactly. That was the best book that I've seen from Print Ninja was Graveyard Shift.
Yeah, I thought Graveyard Shift turned out fantastic.
Yeah, me too.
I got an amazing quote from Print Ninja, but then they added on the shipping, which was like $1,500.
Yeah, and see, that's where you'll save the money, dude. You're in state. You're in state. So they just do a little shipment over your house. If the boxes are small enough, they will allow you to go to their back box and pick them up yourself. They offered that to me, but after a while it got on like 12 pallets. And I'm like, I can't do that. So that's the other thing I did is my shipping and fulfillment is MPAC here in Gallatin. So I had them drive the books straight from Jostens API to Gallatin here in state. It's an hour and a half away. So it was like $300 to ship all my books. So instead of shipping them to my house for a ton of money, and then I have to send them out to my backers for a ton of money, it ended up basically almost making my shipping and fulfillment free just on what I saved on shipping. See that? And your shipping costs go down because we're in the middle of the USA, bro. So we're equidistant from the most backers coming from MPAC here in Gallatin as a shipping and fulfillment, because some of the shipping and fulfillment, it costs depending on how far away from your center it is. So if you've got a ton of people of backers, say in in LA, which you might consider doing your shipping and fulfillment from there, because for them to send most of the books to LA, but mine are all around the world. So for me, it made sense to have something right in the middle of America. That's the one benefit of like Nashville being a real hub, really kind of central between New York, Chicago, Bay Area, LA, Texas. You know what I mean? It's right in the middle of going out to all of them. So you can really save money doing that. That was on my research on shipment and fulfillment.
Well, so there is because you're a treasure trove of this information.
Yeah.
But again, that's one of the reasons, like when Print Ninja's like, yeah, $1,500 to ship the books to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you give me a great quote if you screw me on the shipping.
It's not going to cost you $1,500 to move your books from your printer to fulfillment. And let's say that you're going to spend that $1,500 no matter what other company you use. All of your shipping and fulfillment, not your cost of shipping, right, but the actual putting them in boxes, bagging everything, parsing out your addresses and stuff at MPAC will be cheaper than $1,500.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better, because I was like, oh man,
it might be. Well, you have 2,000 backers, so let's say that it's $1.50 a book, right? So that will be $2,500 or so for you, or or whatever it is. So it might get up there, but I'm only saying, it depends.
I don't think it's going to be $1,500, because this $1,500, and then I still have to pay those other costs. Because I'm hiring people. I've got a couple of friends that are going to come over, like $100 a day and help me pack books.
Oh yeah, that's funner to do, anyways. And I think on your first one, I think you gotta put your time in on that to learn how it's done. Because once you do that, you'll never do it again. I see how many books Ethan's got to sign, and Ethan's going like, "Oh no, I can sign these things all day." I'm all bull crap. You're going down, man. You're gonna be in an asylum by the time you're done.
Yeah, I thought
shipping and fulfillment will put you in an asylum.
Yeah, I think just the first Cyber Frog, like 16,000 copies or
something.
Dude,
he's gonna. I'm telling you, dude, you're just gonna be. Well, he's got shipping and fulfillment, right? I mean, he's doing something.
But yeah, he's got to go and sign everything though. So it's just,
dude,
because originally, I remember back in the day, he was talking about, he's like, maybe I'll just do a pizza party and let some fans come over and help us. We'll just all, me and Andrea feed you guys, and you guys can help us pack the books up and everything. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. But yeah, it just got out of hand, especially that first one did over $500,000.
I've done 3 campaigns where my family helped me and stuff like that. And dude, there's pictures of me just like surrounded with just like label scraps, like peeling off the back of the labels, just the backs of the labels. The entire floor was papered with them. Like you couldn't see carpet. It was those label backs from the Dymo printer, just peeling them off to stick the address on. It is paper cuts, and it is gruel. And you have an amount. That's the amount. Most of my campaigns, I was doing shipping 1,500. If you're shipping to 2,000 backers, you will go crazy.
You're really hold up. So I got two things from Terrible T in the chat that I wanted to talk about. So he's like, he said, Antonio, I'm disappointed. Brand is only at 69K. It would seem to me that it should be at 200K given how long it is going and you stream all the time. Well, let's unpack that, because that was something that when Doug first came on that I talked about, but I actually want to expand on it. The book, the price point that it is at right now, you know, when you look at the metrics, it would cost a whole bunch more to get it up to 100K. Just, you know, there's a lot of campaigns that are at like 80, 90 grand, and they don't have, you know, they've got 1,000 less backers than I do.
Yeah.
Just because of what we charged. So I will say that Way of the Gun will be a more expensive campaign.
Bump it up a little bit.
Way of the Gun will definitely be more expensive.
Yeah. That's the sliding scale for everyone who, you know, may not know exactly how this works. Is you may not have gotten funded if you had a higher price.
I asked for 30 grand the first time that I failed and only raised $95.
So this is your third time out. You're not going to go in and go, I know, I'll raise all the prices on my books. That'll get this thing funded. No one thinks that way. So in hindsight, it's easy to figure out. But on the next campaign is when you make the adjustment.
Absolutely. I was like, oh, so Richard C. Meyer and Ethan charged $25 a book. I'll charge $25 a book. And nobody was buying the book.
Yeah.
And, you know, originally, you know, right before I launched, I had Chuck Dixon on as the writer, and I had Shelby Robertson as the artist.
Yeah. So you had big names.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd sent, you know, I talked to Chuck, let him know that I would be interested in him. I tried out another writer. I know Chuck can write. So I was like, Chuck, will you write Brand? And I kind of told him the story, and he just like, yeah, it's got all that sci-fi stuff. I don't know if that's really, because, you know, I sent him he let me know his terms. I agreed to everything. Said, you know, offer letter was sent. He agreed to it. So I was like, I got Chuck Dixon to write my book. And my fiance at the time was very upset with me because she's like, you told me you were writing this. And I was like, yeah, but he's Chuck Dixon.
Yeah, you should write. You should write your own book.
No, she was right. You know, whatever else, you know, I talked about her, you know, like leaving me and all that, but she was right about that. And
she was wrong about everything else, but she was right about that. I agree.
So yeah, but it's still, I would love to work with Chuck Dixon on something.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying you gotta get one in the can.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was like, but you know, Shelby Robertson, you know, 25 years in the business. So, you know, one of the old Extreme Studios artists and stuff for Rob Liefeld. And I was just like, oh, Shelby Robertson. And he, you know, because Kanan was doing all these other books, and he had done all the promotional art, but he was like, I can't do this. And he just saw me out there. I was struggling. The book was not working. So then I took it over to Kickstarter.
Yep.
And, you know, raised like $400. And then someone tweeted to Mike Miller. It was Dave, Geek Out Loud. They've got Tales from the Stacks on Indiegogo.
Yep.
And
Tales from the Stack.
Yeah, Tales from the Stack, Professor Geek and Dave, Geek Out Loud. You know, he tweeted out to like Captain Cummings and Mike and Ethan and I think what was it, Weaponized Nerd Rage and you know a couple other. But he tweeted and Mike S. Miller was on the air with Ethan at that time. Ethan had been streaming for like 4 hours at that time. He's about to go off the air. And right before Ethan closed the show, the tweet came in to Mike. And Mike looked at his phone. He says, hey, Ethan, he said, can I show something? Because he looked at the campaign. He was like, oh, my God, this is great. Yeah. He looked at it. And he was like, he saw it. And he showed Brand on the air on Ethan's channel. And then he reached out to me and had me on his. So it really, you know, and then Ethan reached out to me and had me on it, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Once you open the door, I'm going to run through it because I'm you know, as much money as Ethan brought in, I brought in a bunch of sales on my own that I know I did just from hustling and doing YouTube videos and stuff.
Yeah. Everyone needs some kind of a break somewhere. Everyone needs just a lucky break where you get a little bit of help and then you can just fly from there. You know, it's your responsibility to fly from there. you needed that break and you got it. And the rest is up to you. You only, but everyone I know who ends up making it in the industry, someone at some point listened to their pitch at the right place. I was just watching Stranger Things, and they were turned down by 20 studios before Netflix picked them up. They just needed one break, and they were able to be huge. But if no one, even if Netflix was just another person that said no, no one would know about one of the most famous shows made on Netflix, like their flagship, show.
All right. So let me see. Okay. So Terrible T, here's another thing. He said, Doug, I stand up for you.
That's right.
But you shouldn't be bashing CG wholesale, or maybe you haven't been bashing.
Oh,
What is the truth?
That I've only told the truth. And I'm not, I get what these people say about when I make this is a philosophy, right? General comments are about things generally, and then specific comments are about things specifically. So you can't apply a comment made generally to someone specific. So if in general I say CG has a lot of drama, that is flat out a fact. Now you may look at me and say, Doug, I personally am CG and I'm not doing any drama. That's using a specific to negate a general statement. So that I'm just saying, in philosophy, that doesn't generally work. So that, and I see that done a lot within the CG arguments, is someone will make a general statement and then someone specifically will come back on it. So that's that's in general, in defense of the way that I talk and the way that I say things, is I'm obviously not talking about 100%, or if I say CG has attacked the career of Tim Lim, I don't mean you specifically, but Tim Lim had his career crashed because of, it wasn't people outside of CG, it was people inside of CG. So I'm only saying that doesn't mean that you
there's definitely splinter groups, though. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah.
There's CG people that hate Ethan.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. And I've got backers. I've got a ton of great CG backers. These are normal people. These are good people. These are family people. And I am not talking about, them if I say CG, has attacks, because they haven't said, no, some people haven't said boo about anything. They don't want any drama. They want to just buy books. So I hope that clarifies.
Whew. So yeah, that's why I was like, because obviously you publicly announced that you weren't in Comicsgate anymore. Yeah. Obviously, I'm still in Comicsgate.
That's right.
And you are a dear friend.
That's right. Always will be, buddy. Always.
And someone got mad at me for tweeting out, you had invited me on the other morning, and I got mad at, and I was like, what's the point of that? Whether you like Doug or not, you're not going to dictate who my friends can and cannot be.
Yeah, F them. And so that's the thing. That's another thing is, so that is a CG guy giving you heat for not just being my friend, but for coming on my show where we're going to try and sell your book and just hang out as friends. So obviously that's not all of CG, but when that kind of crap that you get for being on my show, you're going to tend to get it from either CG or a liberal SJW. I'm just saying those are the people who don't want you to be seen with me, are certain members inside of these groups. And this is what's weird to me, okay, is because what I'm fascinated by is the way that social media works, because I'll see some little statement mentioned about me. It might be on Ethan's stream, or it might be on SJW Spider-Man's tweet, and then suddenly 8 people will repeat what is said on Twitter about me. Like, it just gets spread. I'm watching influencing happen by who we decide to follow and who we decide to listen to. And that's the more fascinating thing to me, is to see why, where do reputations come from, or where does, and it's like a giant marketing campaign where different opinions are marketing their opinions out to people. And then it's weird to see which people respond to that, because sometimes they'll watch an argument get floated out and they'll come out on my side or they'll come out against me. And it's always like 8 people, and they start trying to influence each other. They're trying to use their feed to tell other people, make an argument for how they should think. And that's just, it's weird to me, because we know what's true between us as far as friendship goes.
Right.
And
absolutely.
you're CG, I'm not. That I have zero beef with anything about that, because and we're both united by we're friends and we want to make comics.
There you go.
So I think that's one thing that ought to unite nearly everyone in the world.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because I've gotten over the last year, there were issues with, when me and Sasha were doing the sexy party together, things happen. Definitely was very happy that, I will say, Ro Kabir Kumar, he reached out to me and we got a lot of that squash. I'm a big admirer of Ro. I know some people love Ro, some don't, but whenever there's been an issue, Ro always reaches out to me. Yeah. And we get it handled. That's what it's like. Whatever anybody else think, I'm going by the man's actions. He is always, my channel got attacked. Hey, Antonio, is there anything I can do to help you? What can I, that's him. He didn't, I didn't ask him to do that. He just reached out on his own. So, I really respect Ro as a man. Let the memes continue, I guess. Yeah. But, like I said, there was the Sashi stuff, and then the thing with when Nurkish left the Cash Grab project, and then all of a sudden I got called in. There were people that hated Ethan that were at me. Yeah. There were people that hated that Sashi was on my channel, and they would come. It was like I was in a whirlwind there, and I was just like, my God. Yeah, easy.
They're all, that's what's weird, is like, why can't I'm friends with Nurkish. He's a lightning rod of hate, even though I haven't seen him tweet anything in like 6 months, and he's still all coming down on people's streams. I'm friends with Sashi, love her. I also have had personal private conversations with Ro, usually me screaming at him. But I agree that in general we would talk about things, same with Ethan personally. And I actually think my thing with Ro is, I think he and the guys, I do think they're funny. Like, I don't think Cecil's funny. I think War Campaign is funny.
You don't think Cecil's funny?
Hell no, that's funny. That guy, he's not funny. He's like a character. Like, I like
Cecil's hilarious. What are you talking about?
Nah, he's not funny. Nasser had him right on that first show. He's like, he's not funny. I agree. He's not. I think he's not funny.
No, his humor appeals to me.
Okay. He did once make me laugh. I forgot what. I don't know if it was a tweet or he was on my show, but he had something that it's the only thing I ever heard him say that was funny, and I was on the floor crying. It was so funny. So I'll always give him that.
Yeah, Cecil's hilarious.
My thing with Ro and all these guys is, I think their jokes are funny. And then I think the problem is that a lot of people who are following all of us don't know the difference between what is humorous and what is real. And so they'll take humorous things said about people, and then they'll see it as a legit reason for them to go and target them and destroy their career. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's funny and all jokes are funny until real people start getting hurt, if that makes any sense. And to me, I've seen real people like Tim Lim get hurt, and I actually know Nurkish personally. I've seen him get hurt. People get hurt. And I've even seen Ro. I haven't seen him. He hasn't sat there and cried to me or anything, but I've seen people get so mad at War Campaign that they refunded vestige. And I'm
Mm.
like, if you're doing that in my name, or if you're, you know what I mean, refunding a book, people taking money back, that is a real person getting hurt for jokes. And I don't like that. So I don't like businesses being attacked for humor. And that's my beef with War Campaign, is a lot of their stuff that they throw out. People say, oh, they're just LARPers or whatever. Well, saying that they're just LARPers does not put money back in, say, Nasser's pocket or Tim Lim's pocket for refunds. And I can sit here and say all day, hey, I'm just joking about War Campaign. And then if it turns into refunds, that is not funny. That's humor damaging someone else's business. And that's my biggest beef with what happens within the culture of the social media that goes on inside of Comicsgate and between the cherries and between the War Campaign and between me and Ethan and all these things. When people start doing mass refunds, you can't sit there and say it's just a joke, because the masses are responding and doing their own thing to damage business or hurting. I think Sashi's flat out been abused, flat out been verbally abused. That's not funny.
I actually talked to her. She was in your chat the other day when
Yeah.
we were on, and I talked to her because my new co-host on Sexy Party, Anna,
Yeah.
she was a fan of our streams. You know, the Sexy Party streams I did with Sashi, and she was like, I would love. She said, I love her voice, and I would want to talk to her. And so I had asked Sashi. I was like, could we possibly get you on an episode of Sexy Party and kind of do a reunion?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We have to set it up, but it will be fun to have, you know, Anna and Sashi and me on a Sexy Party episode.
2-on-1.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh.
And I was like, I'd almost thought you'd always try to find these little witty titles for the Sexy Party episodes. You know, I did, what was it? The controversial, I think the most controversial title I had was Sex Jesus. So we did.
No.
Yeah, we did.
That's blasphemy of my Savior.
Oh, I got a lot of thumbs down on that one because people were like, what is this title?
I think one of them better be Kanan White.
Oh my God. Kanan does not listen to Sexy Party.
Yeah.
Kanan does not listen to Sexy Party. And I was like, Kanan's like, hey man, I got kids in the house and stuff. I don't want to, it's like, but you know, the thing, Kanan, 2 of his kids are almost fully grown up. Like his daughter's, you know, just graduated. She's about to go to college in the fall. And his oldest, his middle daughter, I think she graduates this coming school year. And then Desmond.
Oh, his kids are a little older than mine then.
Yeah, Desmond's like 13. I guess he'll be 14 soon. You know, obviously all his kids are artists. You know, if you watch the auctions, you see that Kanan is always auctioning off his yeah, because I was sitting there, Desmond, I always joke with Kanan. I was like, you get Desmond trained up right so we can pass brand off to him. And he was like, yeah, I'm getting it. I was like, you know, Kanan will, you know, be on another book, and I'll be like, well, I'll just have his son fill in, you know, just like you know, John Romita
he could have his son do pencils for him or do inks. It'd be good.
Oh man, it'll be nice to have. I always like those collaborations that John Romita Sr. and John Romita Jr.
Oh man,
yeah,
John, those guys, that's so good stuff. Maybe the other thing you could do is like what Kazu does with Amulet is how, or the classic Akira books is, you know, he could have his assistant like do all the backgrounds for him. So he just does foreground characters and they go in and throw in all the background detail. So that's the manga studio kind of way of doing it. So they apprentice up with you kind of, but they're actually doing production work.
Oh man.
I would love father son, man.
Yeah, that would be, because Kanan actually, you know, I remember I mentioned, I was like, man, it'd be nice to like maybe do a cover and have Kanan and Desmond White as the artist on it. That would be really cool, you know. And he was like, man, that would be, he's like, yeah, I would love to do that one
Tell
day.
Kanan you're going to lay off him on the backgrounds and let him work it out with his son, and you'll get more speed from him. See, he'll be going fast because he's just doing faces, bodies now. And then his son does the backgrounds. And no one's looking at backgrounds. I mean, the story is not about the building sitting back there on the horizon line.
I was like, every time I miss, I actually miss those videos that Ethan used to put up on his channel where he would like actually, I'm going to show you about 3-point perspective.
Yeah,
And
I
I was
love
like,
those. Dude, I'd learn. He was doing perspective stuff, and I'm like, what? He even said, like, everyone needs a transparent ruler. So I went and bought my transparent ruler. His had that grid on it, that red grid. I hate those. I need something to lift it off so I can ink, and the bevel, the ink doesn't float under the thing while you're inking. This thing has a bevel on it, and it's slightly raised off the page.
I'll have to show you because Kanan sent me, because I'll be like, let me see your progress, and he'll take a photo of it and send it to me.
Yeah.
And he sent me a picture. When he sent me the picture last night, you can see his ruler on the table.
Yeah,
where he was doing, and I was like, I didn't think because I always wondered, like when he does the digital stuff, how he gets the line straight. I was like, is he just putting like a ruler on the thing? But there's a program and it can make the line straight and everything.
It snaps the lines for you. Like you can just kind of go like that and it'll do a ruled line. So they even have a perspective grid on these things where you can have like, the lines coming out at you going back to the horizon line. And you can just snap a bunch of lines the way that like anime does the swish action, and it'll snap them all in perspective. Like you can gesture and it'll go like, it'll put it out in perspective. It is cool.
Yeah. And I was just like, I don't know why I thought he was like taking a ruler
and putting it on the screen. Dude, I've done that crap before. I've done that before because I'm so bad at like learning the tools that I just like do my own kind of botched.
But yeah, it's just it's great. Let's see, Valdez D. Frank. He said, "Today I'll share your Indiegogo. Please get it out there. We want as many people to see it as possible."
Yeah, and guys, even if you've already backed it and you want to just help, and you're just sitting there watching, and you want to pay him for this show, just copy the link to his campaign and throw it out on Twitter and on your Facebook. Tell people why you're excited about this project. That is how you're putting money in his pocket, and it didn't cost you anything.
That's the best advertising. Actually, is when people take it and tweet it out and do it. I was like, man, that's what got me. That's what got people like Ethan to look at the book. It's just because people were like, Ethan, check this book out. Check this book out.
Yeah.
It's like
that's literally what got your campaign funded. Then is someone threw you a bone.
Yeah, it's
by just throwing the link.
Fans. Yeah, the fans did this. That so the fact that we're over 69,000 now,
yeah,
it's just huge. Like it's the fans. I just man, the support. That's what's important to me, at least. I really appreciate it. I think we're gonna hit the. I always kind of said, a couple weeks ago, I talked to Kane and I was like, everybody's like 100K. I was like, we just don't have the metrics and everything, especially now that I've taken all the bells and whistles off the account. I took all the t-shirts off. I took all the little extra stuff. So those things could, bring in those extra sales. Now it's just straight comic books. Everything you see on there now is just straight comics. And so, especially with that stuff being removed from the campaign, you're not going to get to those higher price points, but being able to get to 70,000 is very doable.
We're going to get there.
Yeah,
no problem. Not no problem. You got to work for it, but you're going to get there.
Yeah. And again, seriously, if you back brand, if you shared brand, if you talked about brand on a live stream, any of that kind of stuff, know that it is appreciated because I recognize that you didn't have to do that.
You're his marketing plan. He doesn't have a marketing budget. So it's like the only way to get it out is word of mouth. And this is the best thing about those stretch goals and about people helping out is you get a better book for helping him out. You give him more money and you help expand his reach. So it's like you're multiplying what you're already getting by using your free access to social media.
And the because someone asked me this, like, have you learned anything from this, from doing this first campaign? The biggest thing I want to do is, obviously they've allowed me to have money to work on this book. The goal is to kind of be in a space like Richard C. Meyer, where, if you raise enough money, you'll be able to already have a book either complete or mostly complete when it launches.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. So I want to be able to have the next we're not there with Way of the Gun yet, but like the book after Way of the Gun, it would be nice if I could have that book like 70, 80, 90% done, almost ready to go to the printer, and then launch the campaign because we've got money and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
That would be nice.
Yep.
And then
that's a good plan.
Yeah, and that matter of fact, I'm very much looking for. I know was it July the 8th? Was Jawbreaker's God King is launching, and then about another 2 weeks after that, Graveyard Shift 2 is coming. So this I think it's going to be an amazing summer. And I'm just really, really excited. I'm excited to see, Doom Kicker, and I'm excited to see all these other, it's like all these different projects that are in the works. And it's just, man, just really excited about it. So
we're good, man. This is where all the fun is. This is where all the fun is.
Yes, sir, man. All
Movement.
Right. Well, guys, I feel like I have taken enough of Mr. TenNapel's time, and I am very thrilled that you came on with me this morning, and thank you, all of you guys, for showing up at the chat. I just want to, I've been kind of busy with my head in this script, and I just needed to kind of peek up and kind of let you guys know what's going on. There is a backer update coming. There will be some preview pages from Kanan, the penciled pages, and hey guys, again, thank you all so much for being here, and again, huge thanks to Doug TenNapel. I will drop the link to Earthworm Jim.
Oh, it's very kind of you.
In the description there, and hey, Doug, how can they reach out to you, brother? Your YouTube, all that kind of stuff.
I'll be YouTube. Just look up Doug TenNapel on YouTube, and I'm Doug TenNapel on Twitter. And then on just mostly back Earthworm Jim, the comic book is we've got 1 week left in the campaign, and then it goes into store mode.
Oh man, yeah.
1 week left, and I'm trying to get up to 420 today is my thing. We're up to 416, I think, or 415 or something. We're getting close.
Killing it, man. Killing it.
Yeah.
One day I hope to be where you are.
Yeah, but look at, man, I got bags under my eye. I'm totally unshowered. I got to still shower, but I got to pencil this page. Then I reward myself with a shower. Dude. And then Angie and my daughter, they go to Iceland yesterday. I'm like,
oh, so they're already gone. Okay, I know you.
Oh, they gone. So now I'm like, I got to take care. I got to feed kids and stuff now too. So it's a soap opera. But I just appreciate the support. I just like hanging on your show, man. You kept me company while I did some pencils.
Oh, dude, I love watching you. Your artistic, the ink washes, all that stuff, man. I was like, I wish I had artistic talent, but I unfortunately am just a horrible writer. That's
all you got to be. You just got to be a horrible writer every day, and you'll do fine.
All right, guys. I'm gonna wrap this one up. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel. Everywhere is at Ikari Press. And if you type in IkariPress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series brand with the phenomenal Kanan White. We're on Teespring. We're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe, spread the link right now. Thanks, friends.
Oh.